And now, Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and what it means to be the wife of a famous star. Larry Noble has signed to do a picture in Hollywood with a little-known movie company because he found out that Mary had secretly written to their friend Tom Bryson, the playwright, asking him to find work for Larry on the coast. This is his first day on the set at the Marco and Franklin lot, and Larry waits for orders from the director, Sam Marco, as the electricians, grips, and carpenters set up the equipment for the filming of the first scene. As he watches the progress with faint interest, a very pretty young girl joins him, and we hear...
Hello. You're Larry Noble, aren't you?
Why, yes, I am.
I heard you were going to be in the picture, and I've been terribly excited. I'm Dora Dean, and I know you never heard of me before, so don't try to pretend you have.
Well, as a matter of fact, Miss Dean, I must admit you're right.
Oh, please don't be so formal. I want you to call me Dora.
All right, fine. I take it from your makeup and that outfit you're one of the cast, huh?
Oh, yes. It's a rotten part, but what can a girl do? They're all so terribly stubborn and blind out here that they won't even look at you if you aren't Betty Grable or Dorothy Lamour or someone.
Still, they must have started sometime, too.
I suppose so. But honestly, Mr. Noble, it's terribly hard to get recognition out here. There are just too many people trying out for the same job.
Yes, it's the same way in the theater. Only I have a hunch it's even worse out here.
Oh, I'd give anything if I could get to New York and get in a good Broadway production. You know, something like South Pacific or...
Here, now, you wouldn't want to do Mary Martin out of a job, would you?
Now you're just kidding me.
No, not at all.
How did you happen to sign up with this company?
It was all very sudden.
I mean, Marco and Franklin. Who ever heard of them? When my agent suggested... there he is now.
Oren, come up to the end of the track and pan to the left.
Look at him being important. He thinks he's Cecil B. DeMille.
I've heard Mr. Marco is a very talented director.
Wait till you see him get up in that little bucket seat on the camera and ride all over on the boom. Just to show him.
Is that all you can come up with, Ernie? Bring it all the way. That's better. Now to the left. Left, I said. Okay, hold it.
Do you know, that's the thing that gets me down about pictures, Mr. Noble.
What's that?
The way you have to wait around for hours while they set up all those lights and things, and then what? You're on for a couple of minutes, and then you wait around all over again.
From what I hear, Mr. Marco's very quick on production.
Maybe he is, but you still have to wait around an awful lot. I bet you'll be homesick for Broadway before you're finished with this picture.
Well...
It's a lot more exciting to act in front of a real live audience. I know, even the few things I've done out here. Stock and little theater and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it gets you, Mr. Noble. Gee, a famous actor like you, it must seem awfully funny to be standing around here waiting for some crummy little scene.
Oh, if you don't stop, Dora, you'll have me so depressed that I'll be reduced to tears. And you know what that would do to my makeup.
Just the same. I don't see what brought you out here. Oh, not that I'm not glad. Don't misunderstand me. Do you want to know, Mr. Noble, something?
What?
You've always been kind of an idol of mine.
Oh, now, really, Dora?
Oh, I mean it. Ever since I can remember, I've pasted your picture in my book and kind of dreamed about what you'd be like if I ever met you.
You're making me feel about 100 years old.
Oh, I don't mean it like that, Mr. Noble. Only, well, you've been a big star for quite a long time, you know, and it's not that I'm a kid or anything, only...
I know. I've been around a long time.
Oh, there you go again. Do you always kid people along like that?
Not always, Dora. Only special people.
Well, thanks. I mean, that's kind of nice. I always knew you'd be nice if I ever did meet you, Larry. I mean, Mr. Noble.
Oh, no, you were right the first time. Since I'm to call you Dora, you better call me Larry.
You really are nice. And you're even better looking than your pictures.
Oh, please, Dora.
Well, anyhow, you're nice. You're not stuck up. It's only these little nobodies that think they're so wonderful they put on airs.
Oh, take it easy, Dora. You're spoiling me.
I mean it. Well, maybe sometime I'll make the grade too, Larry.
You have lots of time, Dora.
Not all that time. How old were you when you got to be a star?
Oh, don't you know better than to ask a question like that?
Get that shadow out of there, will you, please? What's happened to that letter I asked for 20 minutes ago? Let's start making a picture. We haven't got all day.
Sam Markle could probably do just as good with a Brownie 2A.
You're very hard on the gentleman, Dora. I'm almost afraid to go out there for my scene. For fear of what you'll say about me.
You don't have to be afraid, Larry. I think anything you do is wonderful. Honest. I read every single word about you all the time you were arrested in New York. And that awful murder. Oh, it must have been terrible for you.
It isn't my favorite memory.
But to arrest you, Larry Noble, for murder, I just can't get over it.
It's going to take me quite a while to get over it myself, I'm afraid.
Well, it's lucky they found out in time. Tell me, I mean, just between us, what kind of a woman is that Claudia Vincent?
I don't think there's much point in discussing her. If you followed the accounts, you know that she's been committed to an institution.
Oh, sure. And I know about your wife, too, being burned with acid. She's back in New York in a hospital, isn't she?
Yes.
That must be tough. Is she going to be all right?
I don't know, Dora, and if you don't mind, I'd rather not talk about it now.
All right, now. Let's have it nice and quiet. You're on, Mr. Noble.
Be right there, Mr. Marco.
Good luck, Larry.
Let's do this just like we rehearsed it. We won't waste any time. You got it set, Noble?
Ready whenever you are.
Good. Now, please help us out on this shot, fellas. Let's have absolute quiet. All right, now. Camera. Action. Sound.
And back east in a New York hospital, Mary Noble is facing another day without word from Larry. And after several hours, she has asked her nurse, Miss Clark, to write a letter for her. And so now she's dictating the message, and we hear...
Larry, darling, I haven't heard from you in so long. And I want to know everything about what you're doing and what you think of Hollywood and your new picture.
So long and... I'm afraid you'll have to go a little slower, Mrs. Noble. I'm not very good at this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. And I want to know everything about what you're doing. Do you have that?
What you're doing, yes.
And what you think of Hollywood and your new picture.
Hollywood and your new picture.
Most particularly, darling, I want to know about you.
Know about you. Right.
I'm anxious to hear how Tom Bryson is getting on. He's one of our closest friends, Miss Clark. He had a terrible accident some months ago. Had to have his back in a cast, I believe.
Oh, yes, I remember. You told me about him. He's the famous playwright.
Oh, yes, of course I did. Now, where was I?
How Tom Bryson is getting on.
Oh, yes. Dr. Allen says I'm getting along wonderfully. And he's already taken off a lot of my bandages.
Taken off a lot of my bandages. All right, Mrs. Noble.
I miss you terribly, Larry. But I feel sure this was the best thing for you to do. Don't you?
Best thing for you to do, don't you?
But please write to me. All my love, Mary.
All my love, Mary. I have that. Now then, shall I send you to the hotel where you said Mr. Noble was staying?
Oh, yes, please. And be sure to put an M.L. stamp on it, Miss Clark.
Oh, I'll attend to it right away. Oh, is there anything I can get you while I'm outside?
Nothing, thanks. If you'll just put that table across the bed. I'll look through some of these books that Mr. Barlow brought me yesterday.
All right. There, Mrs. Noble.
Oh, that's just fine, thanks. You will mail that letter right away, won't you?
Oh, yes, of course. I'll get an envelope outside and put it right in the slot.
Hello, Clarky.
Oh.
How's your patient today?
She's all right, Lowry, but... she'd be a lot better if that husband of hers would use a little more consideration.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I told you he went out to Hollywood just like that, without so much as a word.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hardly sent her a line since he got there.
Now, I call that pretty mean.
Makes my blood boil. Mrs. Noble got me to write him a letter, and it's enough to make you cry. It's so pathetic.
A man like that ought to be horsewhipped.
It's just a shame, Lowry. That's what it is.
Of course it is.
Why she puts up with it is more than I can see. Oh, if I had a man like that Rupert Barlow coming to see me every single day, bringing flowers and books and heaven only knows what to keep me interested. Oh, believe me, I'd soon stop worrying about any stuck-up actor out in Hollywood.
That Mr. Barlow must be very interested in her the way he comes here every day.
And he's got more money than you've ever heard of.
I think he's awfully good-looking, too, don't you, Clarky? In a devil-may-care sort of way.
Oh, of course he is. He's positively handsome. I only hope my patient gives him plenty of encouragement because I... Oh, look out, there he is now.
Well, and what do you know? And look at the packages.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barlow. You can go right in. Mrs. Noble will be glad to see you.
Rupert Barlow continues down the hall as the two nurses watch him with interest. And we wonder if Mary's hurt at not hearing from her husband will make her a little more pleased to see Rupert. Be sure to be listening tomorrow to Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and her husband Larry Noble, famous Broadway star.